Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Walking the Earth. Today we are in Konya, Turkey. And directly behind me we have the Sultan Selim Jami from the year 1570, from the Ottoman era. And to my side we have the Maulana Museum, which is where Maulana Rumi is buried, who lived from 1207 to 1273. He was a Hanafi and Maturidi scholar within the Islamic tradition, but he's most famous as a Sufi saint, as a wali, as a friend of Allah, as a friend of God. He is famous as an improvisational poet and the writer of the Masnavi in Persian, as well as a number of poetic works in Arabic and Persian, including the Divan of Shamsuddin, his spiritual teacher and guide. I just want to talk a little bit about Rumi as an inheritor of the prophets, peace be upon all of them. So one thing that's interesting to me is that he is part of the prophetic tradition as a monotheist. And some of the traditions that are connected to the prophets include 40-day retreats, which he was involved in doing a number of times, as far as I'm aware. The most famous one was with his teacher Shamsuddin of Tabriz. Rumi is a Khorasani, that is from the eastern Persian lands over at the border of Tajikistan and Afghanistan. And so this was called Greater Khorasan in older times. He was a spontaneous poet. He would sing and recite ecstatic poetry. He would do ecstatic dances. This puts him within the prophetic tradition from ancient times. If you read the Book of Kings from the Hebrew Bible, from the Old Testament, you will find it discuss a group of followers of the prophets. So you have Nebi Elijah, also known as Ilyas, and his direct disciple, Elyasa, also known as Elisha or Elisha. So these two prophets had a number of disciples and companions around them called the sons of the prophets. Now, all of these individuals, they were engaging in spontaneous improvised poetry that's sort of like freestyle rapping. Like if you've ever heard anybody freestyle, so they can rhyme off the top of their mind, off the top of the dome. They can speak spontaneous improvised poetics in a highly rhythmic manner. This was what Rumi practiced, something similar to this from my understanding. But not only did we see the sons of the prophets in that circle practicing something similar, but also we see Nebis Dawud alayhi salam and Suleyman alayhi salam, David and Solomon. They also were prone to spontaneous poetry. They were connected to music, as were the sons of the prophets, as was Rumi. So we've got music, we've got dance, we've got improvised poetry, we've got transformation through long 40-day retreats and dark retreats. These are all within the prophetic tradition, and some have forgotten them, but many of the Sufis maintained this, especially up in the Khorasani regions, which some believe were connected to the lost 10 tribes of Israel, who may have been sent to these areas in much earlier times, and connected with the Greeks that had been exiled to these territories as well. Balkh is a very interesting area. They called it the mother of all cities. And Balkh is very connected to many interesting traditions, so it's worth looking into. But I just wanted to point out that Rumi is very much within a very ancient prophetic tradition and within a very ancient expansion of what we call monotheism, and connects the biblical materials and the Quranic materials. Rumi was also very much an inheritor of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and was and very much loved not only the Prophet but the Rashidun, all of the first four caliphs. May Allah be pleased with them. It's said that he's descended from Abu Bakr. I don't know that has been verified as the most accurate assessment, but it could be. We do know he was descended from a long line of Hanafi jurists and mystical poets. So just wanted to go ahead and share a little bit about how Rumi was connected to a broader prophetic tradition and spontaneous improvised poetry in an inspired state after transformational experiences, either in the darkness or long 40-day retreats of prayer and fasting, long walks. This is very important, very interesting. So inshallah, I will discuss this more in the future after doing some further research. If you have any ideas, please share them in the comments or insights. Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.